Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Come in, come in, come in. I had this happen to me today, and I was like, oh my goodness, this could be a really hot item for selling on eBay. I am going to definitely live stream and talk about this. So come on in and let me know how you are. It is quite chilly here in New York today. I was all bundled up, but I'm glad to be inside. I actually have a nice cup of green tea I'm drinking today in my eBay mug. So hello, everybody. And while you're settling in and just tell me that you can hear me, I will introduce myself. I'm Kathy Terrell. I'm a top rated seller on eBay. I'm selling on eBay for well over 15 years. And like a lot of sellers, I started small, just selling odds and ends from around my home. I needed to be home to take care of my mom, who was in failing health. And I needed something with a lot of flexibility, and eBay was it. And I did that for several years. And then after my mom passed, what I did was, hey, Tiffany, how are you? Scaled my business to be full time. Hey, Ladors, thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you, Tiffany, to full time. So that's what I'm here to tell you. Absolutely, whatever level you start at, you can absolutely scale to be a full-time seller. I have over 25 years of brick and mortar experience. So I have a lot of retail experience with sales and what brick and mortar is all about, and sales strategies and working with customers and vendors and all that kind of thing. Hey, Pam, how are you? And then I was on QVC for 6 years as a product presenter. And I bring that up because QVC is fascinating. And by the way, it's really good for sellers to watch QVC, because what you're doing is you're watching people that are selling a tangible item. Let me go back to my notebook, like a notebook or jewelry. They sell a lot of jewelry. If you're a jewelry seller, you should definitely be watching QVC. But they're selling a tangible product that you, the buyer, can't, I can't put it on. I can't try it on. I'm not in a physical store. And watch the way they sell. You'll learn a lot about selling virtually, which is what we're doing as an eBay seller. With QVC, obviously, they're selling with film. And when we're selling on eBay, we're selling with text. We're selling with our description and our title and our pictures. Really good training, though. So I was there for 6 years, and then left and then started selling part-time on eBay. I am trained as an eBay education specialist. I get to work with a lot of the eBay teams on various product projects, which is a lot of fun. I learn. I have presented with various teams on stages. People have seen me at various conferences, and I get to go on podcasts and all kinds of things. What I really love to do is work with sellers to optimize their listings so you get better visibility in eBay search and Google search. There's a lot of great sellers that'll give you tips of what they call BOLOs, be on the lookout for, different things to be on the lookout for to buy. That's not really what I do. I really stick to eBay business policies and running an eBay business, social media tips, but really focusing on eBay search. But I'm going to take a slight detour this time because I was really surprised by this today, and want to share it with you. So first, I do want to date this. So this is November 2020. And I bring that up in case you're listening to podcasts, and I do have one, in case you're listening to YouTubes, and I do have a YouTube channel, or Facebook Lives. But however you're getting your content, if you're reading it, check the dates. Number one mistake people make listening to YouTubes and podcasts, also reading, is they don't check the date. This is really important when you're looking at social media information. Like if you're Googling for Pinterest tips or Facebook business page tips, and you'll come across something that looks absolutely fabulous, check the date. If it's like 2/16, get rid, don't even bother. I mean, it changes that fast. You're really looking for things that are within the past 6 months when you're looking at social media. The algorithms change so fast. And be careful with eBay selling information the same way. There are some things that hold true, like good, clear pictures. That's certainly going to be a valid tip at any time. But a lot of things about search and optimizing listings has really changed over the past couple of years. So just keep an eye out on dates. That's my first big tip for you. But this is what surprised me. So we got our Christmas tree up early this year. We have an artificial tree. The reason we got it up earlier this year rather than waiting for the weekend after Thanksgiving or waiting till December is I've really, this year, I'm really planning out my holidays to make sure that I've got the amount of time I want for family, the amount of time that I want for my church family, for friends, even a lot of things are going to be Zoom. I want dedicated time. I don't want to be multitasking. I want to be really present, like for the Zooms with my friends and family, and some of the community things I am able to do with social distancing and everything. So because of that, we decided to get our tree up earlier than normal to free up time later in December. So the tree is up. I have my ornaments, our family ornaments I put up. And a thing that we typically do for our tree is we put candy canes on. And we put candy canes on because it is a childhood memory for my husband. He remembers his mom decorating their family tree with candy canes. So this is a thing for us. And our grandson, this is his thing. When he comes to visit grandma and grandpa, and he's due for a visit soon, that's his specialty. So he wants at least a couple of boxes of candy canes. Not a problem. Every year there's 2 different stores that I go to, and I go and pick out like the best looking candy canes that aren't all broken, and I get several boxes and I bring them home. So the store that I typically go to last week, noticed they were on sale, went in, no candy canes. Met with the manager. I said, hey, when are the candy canes coming in? He said this weekend. Well, long story short, I've done 3 visits to the store. The candy canes are not in. I've gone to another store. The candy canes are not in. And I finally said, to heck with this. And I went on the internet and I ordered candy canes. And I paid like 4 times what I was like. I even said to my husband, I'm like, do we really need to do candy canes? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. And I ordered them online. And I'm bringing this up. It is because of everything that's going on, is things that might have been really easy to get last year. So again, if you don't know, I live in New York City. I have not seen one live tree sales area in New York City in our neighborhood, and I live in Midtown Manhattan. Typically this time of year, and we're right before Thanksgiving weekend, I would see at least 6 or 8 live tree it's like a sidewalk thing is what they do. They put up these big wood like fences and then they stack up the trees. None. There's not one that I see in Midtown Manhattan. Now, again, further north, further south, they might have it, but none in my neighborhood. None. Now, what that tells me is there's going to be a much high, either people are just going to say to heck with Christmas trees this year, which I don't think so, or we're going to see a lot more artificial trees because or they'll go online and order a live tree, but that's going to be really expensive. So I think we're going to see a lot more artificial trees. And that's what I wanted to say to you is, this is going to sound a little strange, candy canes, artificial trees of all sizes. Now, obviously for most sellers, to go and get a big tree to sell online is going to be difficult just because of the packing. But I'm going to say, look for the tabletop trees, look for the small trees. You might not do a tabletop tree, but let me tell you, somebody living in the city is doing a tabletop tree. Okay. So look for trees, garlands, lights, ornaments of all kinds. I know a lot of people do ornaments because there's a lot, they love Hallmark ornaments or they love this kind of ornament. I usually keep an eye out for some nice New York City collectible ornaments because people like that kind of thing. And certainly listen, if you're in Chicago, Atlanta, think big cities. San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City. Always keep an eye out for ornaments that are distinctive to your area. Boston, all the major cities, Canada, same thing overseas, Paris, London, because particularly this year, let's say I normally go to London to see my family, or I go to Paris to see my family, or I go to New York to see friends and family. A lot of people are choosing not to travel this year. So they're really looking for something that will evoke that for themselves. So keep an eye out on the ornaments, on the decor, any kind of holiday home decor that could evoke a certain town, city, or state. And again, I'm not kidding you. The white lights, you see behind me, my screen, I've got white Christmas lights behind there because I happen to really like white lights. But all of that kind of thing, when I was in the store that I typically get my white lights at, it's a chain drugstore, they didn't have any. They have like the hanging kind. I don't know what the name is for. I think it was the icicle lights, but they didn't have the mini lights. So again, in your area, they might have the mini lights. So you think, Kathy, everybody's got mini lights. No, they don't. So when you're at the various areas, particularly if your store is doing some kind of killer clearance sale, because a lot of these big chain stores will start to mark down their holiday stuff Black Friday weekend. is go online. And when you're pricing, if you don't do this, I'm warning you. So let's say you're planning on buying a bunch of mini lights and selling them on eBay. Check the prices on Amazon and Walmart. You want to be competitive because shoppers are totally capable of using Google. And if you haven't heard this, I was in a webinar the other week. So there's people that just go to eBay. So they go to eBay, they search on eBay, they shop on eBay. Just like there's people that go on Amazon, they search on Amazon, they shop on Amazon, and they don't compare at all. Great. But people that don't do that, people that aren't like, they're eBay shoppers, they're Amazon shoppers or LL Bean shoppers or whatever site it is they love. If they're just looking for mini lights or they're just, looking for candy canes, 90% of the searches start in Google. And I was truly shocked by that. I knew it was a lot, 90%. So whatever you're buying, Google it and definitely check it on the other sites because you're going to need to be competitive. And if you can't buy it at a price where you can be competitive, for me, I pass. It's like because I need to be competitive with the other sites. But things that like last year, you would never buy, right? To sell online, like I would never buy little white mini lights. And I mean generic, like it doesn't need to be a fancy brand, is selling. Holiday food, be very careful. Make sure it's legal to sell it. Check the expiration date. But a lot of these things are going to be really, really hard to get. Again, like me in the city. So I went to the manager. Again, this is a big chain drugstore. I know the managers. I'm in there all the time. They know me. I know them. And she said, Kathy, we put our orders with the warehouse, but a lot of times they just don't have it. Got candy canes. You would think candy canes. I mean, come on. They don't have them. Now, it doesn't mean there aren't candy canes in the United States, but just the warehouse for this chain, for whatever reason, doesn't have it. Or they get them, but they don't have enough for all the stores. And I have no idea how they allocate. I remember back in retail, there's a priority of what stores get what and how much each store gets, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying is keep an eye out. Things that are very, very common for holiday decor. Things that you would think like, this is so easy because it might be easy in your area, but it is not nationwide. And you'll be able to pick them up and flip them. I mean, if you can buy, the twinkle lights for $2, $3 on sale, $4 or $5. I remember I got boxes of the white mini lights last year. It was like 80% off. This was in January. It was like $1 a box. And I was just on a big site, same size box. It was a different brand, but it wasn't like a major brand. It was $20. $20 was shipping. And last year I bought a very similar product for $1. So that's what I'm saying is really, really, really keep an eye out. Tiffany's saying, I just bought an artificial tree for the first time in my life. Exactly. We have the artificial tree. We've always been, excuse me, into real trees here in New York City. What they do is they, I don't know what it's called. They chip them after the holiday. So it's able to use for mulch in Central Park and the other parks. We've always liked that. What happened is for us getting the tree in and out, because we're in a walk up, it's such a major workout to get this tree in and out of our building. We just sort of said, you know what, this just is not working out. And last year we invested in a really nice artificial tree. It was our tree to each other. And this year, thank you, God, that we did it, because there is nobody selling real trees, excuse me, again, that I can see in Midtown Manhattan. So artificial trees of all sizes, keep an eye out. And I would look for tree toppers. I would look for holiday decorations. I'd be looking for the lights of all kinds, ornaments of all kinds. If you're in an area that has a distinct heritage, or if you're in a wonderful town near a wonderful city, you might think, oh, this is so commonplace, here in Kansas City, or this is so commonplace in Chicago. Yes. But there's people that have loved ones there, or this is a special place for them, and they are not able to get there this year. And they would love to buy an ornament that commemorates Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Kansas City, San Francisco, Portland. So keep an eye out for that because again, and this is why it's great to do research, with tools like TerraPeak. If you have an eBay store, you've got a free subscription if you're a basic store or higher, and you're going to see data for a year. But this holiday season is very, very different. And I've been saying that for months. So if I looked at, let's say, tree toppers for last year, the market this year is going to be very, very different. So I would not be looking at data from last year. I would be looking at data like for the past week because people are going to start to put their trees up now. So that's my big tip for you is, again, things that would not necessarily have sold last year and not necessarily have sold for a lot of money last year, there's a chance they could go much higher this year because certain urban areas, and it could be rural areas too, there's going to be a real scarcity because either they couldn't get the product. Remember, a lot of this comes from China. The warehouses don't have it. They just don't have the distribution system to get it around because of the various restrictions on places. So if you can source it locally, if you find a place that has it, you can make some really nice money flipping it. And again, you may not want to look at research from last November, December. Rather, you might want to be looking at what's been selling the past week, 10 days, 2 weeks, and see if you see any price increase. Sort of like the stock market. Really watch your recent prices on these items because you could make some really, really nice money selling holiday decor this season. That's Christmas and Hanukkah. Okay. While you're doing all this, I've created a free guide for you on promoted listings. And I want you to pick it up because it's great, particularly, so you're going to hop over to my website, I Love to Be Selling, and you're going to look for winning with promoted listings. And I'm bringing it up because, so of course you're going to check prices. You're going to see if this is a popular item, if it's on other sites. And again, holiday decor is a common item. Lights, tree toppers, artificial trees, ornaments, home decor. So to stay competitive, you definitely want to take a look at using promoted listings, and you don't need to have an eBay store to use promoted listings. It is a fee. You only pay if the person does a direct click on the item that you're promoting and buys within 30 days. It is well worth looking at. I give you tips in the Winning with Promoted Listings guide in case you've been running a couple of campaigns and they're a little sluggish or slow. Grab the free tip guide, Winning with eBay Promoted Listings, because I have some really, really good tips. I actually was brainstorming with some promoted listings team members and also some sellers that use promoted listings a lot and came up with some really, really good ideas to help you to wake up if you've got campaigns and promoted listings that aren't getting you the results that you want. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab my guide, Winning with eBay Promoted Listings. And even if you've never sold holiday ornaments and decor in your life, keep an eye out. You could, boy, do I wish, because I remember when I bought my mini lights thinking, oh, should I buy a couple more? I think I had like 2 or 3 boxes because I use them and they burn out like every 6 months. And I'm thinking, man, I should, because I remember thinking, oh, I'll buy them again next January when they're marked down. Well, I went into the store. They don't even have a box. They only have the icicle lights. And I'm actually thinking, I think I might buy the icicle lights just and learn to live with them, even though they're not really my style. And I might even buy them full price because I'm not kidding you. I was in the store. This is major, chain store in Midtown Manhattan. I think they had 2 boxes of icicle lights, 2. And last year, this time, there would have been like 30 boxes at least, plus the mini lights and everything else. The seasonal decor is like 3 shelves of stuff. And then there's like lots of holiday chocolate, which is great. But the decor, there's like nothing. My suspicion is because most of it's made in China. So keep an eye out for that because you really could do some nice flips, particularly artificial trees. And again, I'm not telling you to go out and buy these 6-foot, 7-foot trees. They're heavy. But the tabletop trees, again, college dorms, apartments, and again, households that want a tree, and they may not have a place that's selling live trees. And so they want a nice tabletop tree that they can put up and decorate. So keep an eye out for that, okay? Grab my guide, Winning with Promoted Listings. And thanks everybody for joining me. Tiffany, thank you. Pam, Ladors, everybody's been great to see everybody. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.